Good day. My name is Justado Siwatin Jr. and I am the one who going to discuss the results view of the future. So let's start. For I believe it was in the unpredictable world where intelligence was needed most. As a statesman without portfolio, his vision of the Filipino nation and his precepts for its guidance are as fresh today as they were 100 years ago. So meaning, si Rizal raw ay naniniwala na ito ay isa hindi mahuhulaan na mundo kung saan ang katalinuhan ang higit na kailangan. As a statesman without portfolio, so ibig pala sabihin ng statesman or estadista sa Tagalog ay isang person o isang tao na may importanteng parte sa gobyerno ng estado. Okay? So, a statesman without portfolio sa isang estadista na walang portfolio. Ang kanyang pananaw sa bansang Pilipino na ang kanyang mga alintuntunin para sa patnubay nito ay sariwain ngayon gaya ng 100 taong nakaraan. So, kanyang mga nilathalang mga kasulatan, kanyang mga lituntunin ay isang patnubay lamang sa bagong henerasyon. So, yan ang Rizal's view of the future. Sa tulad lang sa artikulong The Philippines a Century Hence. The Philippine Century Hence is narrated by national hero Dr. Jose Rizal to forecast the future of the country within the 100 years. Rizal felt that it was time to remind Spain that the circumstances that ushered in the French Revolution could have telling effect for her in the Philippines. So, ang pambansang bayani niya si Dr. Jose Rizal ay hindi niya upang hulaan ang kinabukasan ng bansa sa loob ng 100 taon. Nadama ni Rizal na oras na upang ipaalala sa Espanya na ang mga pangyayari ng nagbunsod ng revolusyon sa Pranses ay maaring magkaroon ng epekto sa kanyang Pilipinas. So, sa katulad ng sinasabi ko kanina na Rizal's view of the future, kailangan sariwain natin sa ngayong bagong henerasyon kung ano ang naganap noong 100 taon. So, yan ang sinasabi niya na ang kanyang nilathala ay isang patnubay lamang upang sariwain ang mga kaganapan noong nagdaang taon. So, yan ang aking report about sa discuss the results view of the future.
Hi, good day everyone. Today I will discuss a assist results concept of the Filipino. So let's start now to discuss this topic. Okay. In this color blue paragraph there, it says assist results view of the future and his concept of a Filipino nation. In these concepts, we get this concept from these topics. First, Morga's successes de las Islas Filipinas. Second, the indolence of the Filipino youth. Third, the Philippines a century hence. And the fourth, Rizal's legacy for the 21st century. Okay, let's start. We all know that Rizal's affirmation of a Filipino identity for pre-colonial Indios in his work on the Marga opens up a number of critical issues. Was Rizal asserting, as Jose Morelos did regarding to the Mexican nation, the existence of a Filipino nation prior to the arrival of the Spaniards? Or was Rizal using the word Filipino to refer to an ethno-racial unity of all the indigenous inhabitants of Las Filipinas? Okay. It has been alleged that Rizal was an anti-Chinese racist, based on the fact that at one time in Dapitan, Rizal boycotted a Chinese store. We can clarify this issue by considering Rizal's own account, which he confined only to his mother in Blumentritt. In the logic of the colonialism, there is one remarkable passage in Morga that seems to have escaped in Rizal's critical eye. Okay, you know what's that? So let's go on. Morga takes it for granted that China is under the jurisdiction of the royal audiencia of the Spanish regime in the Philippines. After describing the structure of the audiencia, Morga then described its functions. Okay. In Rizal's concepts, he only wants for his Filipino that to dedicate their thoughts, words, and actions not solely to themselves as individuals, but as citizens of a nation. Results emphasize that the task of nation building is accompanied by hardship and suffering, which the people must inevitably experience to bolster their courage. The sacrifices experienced by a people strengthen their bonds of unity in their sense of independence. Okay. The book Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas narrates the history of wars, intrigues, diplomacy, and evangelization of the Philippines in a somewhat disjointed way. Modern historians, including Rizal, have noted that Morga has a definite bias and would often distort facts or even rely on invention to fit his defense of the Spanish conquest. Okay. And Morga's purpose for writing Sucesos, okay, taking issue with the scopes of these claims, Rizal argued that the conversation and conquest were not as widespread as portrayed because of the missionaries were only successful. So let's proceed. Okay, the next topic. Okay, Rizal pointed out that long before the coming of the Spaniards, the Filipinos were industrious and hardworking, but when the Spaniards came, they became gamblers, dependent, powerless, corrupt. According to Rizal, all the causes of indolence can be reduced to two factors: limited training and education. Filipino natives received segregated from Spaniards. Filipinos do not receive the same opportunities that are available to the foreigners. They are thought to be inferior. The second factor is the lack of a national sentiment of unity among them. Next. between in the war between the colonial rather in Spain, there's a Rizal message for the Spain, and this is: Spain must we someday tell Filipinas that thou hast no ear for her woes, and that if she wishes to deceive, she is redeem himself. So overall of this topic, to the concept of the that mentioned, there is only one rooted meaning of all the concept of results of the Filipino, and that is he only wants his countrymen envisioned a fulfilled society, an emancipated people in a progressive nation mature in political freedom. So that's all for today, and I hope you understand my video. So thank you. Have a nice day.
Today everyone, I'm Angel Grace G. Briwili from the SIT2C. So, with the current state of our nation, did results view happen? If yes, what did our nation do to achieve this? If not, what steps should we have taken in order to fulfill his with your nation? First, did results view happens? Did results view happens? Results nationalism is of the inclusive, caring kind. This he spelled out in the aims of La Liga Filipina: mutual protection in everyone, or necessity, defense against all violence and injustice, and encouragement of instruction, agriculture, and commerce. So, if yes, our nation did do to achieve is to support the generation of development opportunities through inclusive education and decent work, foster innovation and resilient infrastructure, creating communities and cities able to produce and consume sustainably, reduce inequality in the world, especially that concerning gender. Um, if not, there are the steps should we have taken in order to fulfill his view of our nation are peace and security, human rights, rule of law, and development. So that's all. Thank you.
They are the Rizal concept of the Filipino. So ito yung mga konsepto. Una, Rizal, information and Filipino unification for sectional ideas in his work on the more open up numbers of critical issues. According to Guerrero, that Rizal had mind was a recoil secular nation. So exclusion of the Spanish Creole colonies and ethnic Chinese. Rizal was better to blooming, blooming treat. It would seem that Rizal considers the Chinese as racially apart from the people of Mindanao. They are not part of the Filipino nation. Rizal later has his mothers. So, ito yung later ng para sa kanyang ina. Rizal's boycott was motivated by consideration rather than the racial identity of the store owner. So ito yung pag-boycott niya. Rizal also people of Lapitan to unite and be self-reliant that they would not fall prey to the exploitative Chinese merchants. So ito yung ang article na Rizal Concepts of the Filipino. So ito po yon, ito na article. Ang sabi, ito po na article. So ito lang po. Thank you.
So, hi sir, good morning. My name is Mark Jan Tirarel. The article, sa article nag-report sa ako ang classmate kay mao niyang the Philippines a sensory offense. So, it means pagpaalala sa mga Espanyol kung sa may tabo 100 years after kung sa epektuan ni sa Pilipinas sa ilang buhat. So ani ka kuha na to ang author na si Jose Rizal. Ani siya ka bright, ato ang hero. So, introduction. As Filipinas dentro de 100 años, it means the Philippines a century hence. The article was originally published serially in the Filipino Foreign Review La Solidaridad. So, sa magazine sa La Solidaridad siya na ang the Philippines a century hence of Madrid, running through the issues from September 1889 to January 1890. So, buhat ni siya itong 1889 to 1890. It supplements Rizal great novel No Limit Hungary and its sequel El Filibusterismo, and that translation her given unfortunately by Mr. Charles de Berber, who in his The Social Cancer and the Reign of Greed which has so happily rendered into English those masters of Rizal. So, the Manila Philippines Century was so ano yung ang edited kasi Austin Karaik. In the Philippine island of American government has tried and is trying to carry out exactly what the greatest Sergius, the most revered patriot governor in the Philippines, was a result satisfied advocated. So that's all. Thank you. Lola?